Hello everyone, and today I'll be going through a Spiral Abyss guide for version 5.0. So I've been requested to do this, and yeah, let's move on with the guide. So first up, this will be the enemies that we'll be facing in this version, in case y'all do not remember. So 12.1.1 will be this, 12.1.2 will be this, 12.1.3, yep, 12.2.2, 12.3.1, 12.3.2. Alright, so these are the elements that will be good in this abyss, or bad or meh in this abyss. So the first one is Animal. Animal is actually very good at this abyss because of the first half, right? Because the first half has a Pyro Shield and also a Cryo Shield. So they are perfect opposites of each other. So if you throw them together, you can break the shield more easily, right? And also it's very good against the top 3-1, whereby the gluttonous boss requires you to apply pyro onto those grenades so that the boss will take the damage from those grenades. Yeah, so Animal is actually very good in the first half. Alright, so pyro is also good for the first half because of the boss on the third chamber. uh, However, it has its downsides. So the downsides for the pyro is that on the first half, you are not able to break the pyro shield, of course, right? That's the only downside to it. But otherwise, I feel like it's a pretty good element in this abyss, especially for the second half as well. Whereby the second half, you also have the hydro enemy, right? Let's go back to the hydro one. Where is it? Alright, you also have the water spouting phantasm, right? To face. So it's very good. As for hydro, it's very good for both sides, right? Because on the second half, you can use Hyper Bloom, which requires hydro. And on the first half, you need to break the Pyro Shield. And yeah, so and Pyro and Hydro goes well together. So therefore your Chamber 1, Chamber 2 and Chamber 3 first half are good with Hydro as well. Yep. As for Cryo, I feel that it's not that good because on the first half, although you can melt the shield, however, it's not the best way to remove the Pyro Shield in the first place. I feel that for the Pyro Shielder, it's better to use a Hydro unit to melt the to vaporize rather to vaporize the shield. As for Cryo, the only use of it is in the second half, but even so, why would you use Cryo if like you can use Hyper Bloom? It just does not make sense. As for Dendro, it's very good. It's very strong on your first half and your second half, right? It's good on your first half because of Kinich. If you have Kinich, first half use him because you have to face the Glutton's boss, and Burgeon will be very good down there. Okay, and as for the second half, Dendro is very good there due to the fact that Hyper Bloom exists. So because Hyper Bloom exists, Dendro is very good on the second half because of the multi-wave content, whereby each wave you only face one enemy. As for Electro, it's a good element in this abyss because of Hyper Bloom, right? And as for Jill, it is a bad element in this abyss. Reason being, the damage, aside from Navia, I would say it's quite bad, right? Jill isn't in a very good spot, not as of now. And the utility isn't there at all. So I don't see how Jill is going to be better than any other element in terms of breaking the shields. Therefore, I feel that Jill is a bad element. Moving on, we'll move on to the recommended teams. So the first half, I recommend 2 teams easily. These are the best 2 teams that you can run. No matter what, you'll get 36 star. Unless if you don't build them properly, of course. But even so, you still get a few stars in floor 12. First half. First team will be Kazuha, or any animal you need, for example, Animal Traveler, or sucrose, those work, right? Bennett, Xiangling, and a flexible hydro slot, I recommend Yelan. Because in second half, I usually recommend Hyper Bloom instead. So Hyper Bloom is more used in Xingqiu. However, it's also okay to use Xingqiu on the first half. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? And the second team recommendation that I have for the first half is Nahida Burgeon team or Kinich Burgeon team. So Nahida will be running 4-piece Deadwood Memories and Kinich will be running 4-piece Obsidian Codex. You can either use Xingqiu or Yelan, and you can either use Bennett or Emily, right? And you can use Xiangling, yeah. So if you realize Xiangling and a Bennett are the two characters that keep appearing on this recommended teams. Okay, alright, moving on. We'll be going to the second half. So for the second half, I recommend a Hyper Bloom team. So you can use Nahida or any other 4-piece Deepwood Memories Dendro unit. For example, you can use someone like Yao Yao, right? That works. You can use Xingqiu or Yelan, but I really recommend Xingqiu because Xingqiu is a better Hyper Bloom unit because it applies more Hydro, right? And you can use either Cookie or Raiden, and you can use a Flex Dendro or Electro slot for the last slot, right? Yeah, so I recommend Hyper Bloom team on the second half. Another team that you could try, but it's not really recommended, is Hu Tao with 2 Hydro units and Zhongli, right? The traditional Hyper Hu Tao team. Why I don't recommend it is very obvious, because of the Hydro enemy on the first chamber second half. Yeah, first chamber second half. Yeah, I do not recommend this team because of that one enemy. Because your 2 Hydro units will be useless, and all that you can do is use Hu Tao, and if your Hu Tao is not built well, then there's no point because you run out of time. Most of the time. Yeah. Alright, now let's talk strategies. So after pressing the keys, right, you have to go backwards. Let the mobs come to you, because when you go backwards towards the position of the Fatui that will appear on the second wave, you'll use less time chasing the second wave, right, compared to you going to them. I'll show this to you in the showcase slide, so keep a lookout for that later, right? And as for the second wave of Top 1-1, I'll always recommend to target the Pyro Slinger first and kill him first. Cryo Gunner will always chase you, so you don't have to care about grouping. Just target the Pyro Slinger. If you have done the local legends in Netland, you should know why, right? Because if the Cryo Gunner dies, it generates a Cryo AoE field that does damage over time on death. So you really do not want that at all. Later on in the showcase, you will see an example of this happening. I nearly died, but yeah, I will not spoil too much of it. You can take a look at it later. As for 12-1-2 second wave, I recommend damaging her until she summons her pet. When she summons her pet, focus on the pet instead, right? Because when she has no pets at all, she enters a weakened state. For 12-3-1, I recommend applying Pyro to the flame grenades when you see it, because these flame grenades will backfire on him and it will kill the boss. Alright, so now we'll go on to the showcase. I'll comment on it and let y'all know like where can be improved, and maybe y'all can learn from this, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Alright, so I went for the elemental burst, as you can see over there. Okay, so take note of that. This is what I mean by running backwards, okay? So when you run backwards, use Xiangling first, right?
Nice and spicy. Everybody stand back. Into the wind.
Okay, for those that do not have at least a C1 Kazuha, I recommend you using a Sacrifice. Sorry. Either a Sacrificial Sword or a Favonius Sword. Okay? And as you can see from here, I only target the Pyro Singer. And if you notice, right, whichever direction that you look at, the Pyro Singer will teleport towards it. Okay, so just take note of that. Alright, as you can see here, I do have a bit of energy problem. It would have been better if I swapped my Yelan over to a Favonius bow build, but I didn't because of energy, which does provide my team more elemental mastery. Okay, this is what I mean by be careful of the cryo field, because if you kill the cryo gunner first, this is going to happen to you. And as you can see over here, none of my characters died, but 2 of my characters are on critical HP, which was a fatal mistake of my part. Alright, and this part is nothing special at all, right? Just a typical Hyper Bloom, yeah, just a typical Hyper Bloom kill. As you can see over here, I was just targeting this guy first, and then when the pet came out, I swapped my focus over to the pet instead. Alright, where is it? Alright, I guess I just killed them both at the same time. Yep. I mean, that works. Hyper Blue is broken. But yeah, by right I should be killing the pet first. Okay, then over here is where I kinda messed up. I don't know why I did Xingqiu's out. I probably should have just done his E and swap off and like give the energy that he generates to other characters instead. Right? But overall I feel like this is a decent clear in Abyss, ending off with 751 with 51 seconds remaining for the 3-star. Moving on, we'll be going on to the second half over here, where I pick energy recharge plus 20%. Alright, so over here I really wasted a lot of time deciding which target to go for. Ultimately, I should not have went for the center one, but went for the ones at the side instead, because the sides, those at the sides, they don't chase you, but the one in the middle, it chases you. So yeah. So over here, nothing special. I was just trying to get my energy ready for the next half. Oh yes, do note that my Kazuha is C6, so yeah. So as you can see, it's a bit of energy problem, but it's not that much of an issue for me. Then I'll just finish off with Yelan's ultimate. And then on to the last part. Right, just kill this chasm enemy and then move on to the Mago Kenki. As you can see over here, I'm trying to heal my Cookie Shinobu, because I'm afraid that she might get one-shotted by Mago Kenki. Right? Okay. So one thing that you can take note over here is, when using Xingqiu, always use his elemental skill followed by his elemental out, and then his elemental skill again. Otherwise, you'll waste time, right? And as you can see over there, I did a what was it called? I did a dash dodge, right? You can call it a dash dodge, right? That way, that's one way to avoid getting hit. But like, the other way to avoid getting hit is to use ultimate. However, it is not as recommended because you waste a lot of damage that way. So try practicing dodging that way instead, whereby you dash at the correct timing. Now moving on to the last chamber. I pick elemental skill increase this time. Right now I'm trying to find out energy for my Yelan and my Xiangling over here. So notice that I do not use Xiangying's out if I do not have
Teamwork is
sorry, I do not use Benet's out if I don't have Xiangying's out ready at all. Okay, this is also a mistake on my part. I wasted too much time over there. As you can see, those flame grenades on the floor, once you apply pyro to it, it does damage to the boss. So yeah, that's why pyro is very good over here. Ah yes, do take note of that spinning attack, is really really annoying. As of now, I'm not very sure how to counter that part, but if y'all know, y'all can point it out in the comments. I'll read them and I'll I'll let I'll let the viewers know in the future if this boss ever comes back with your suggestions. Yeah, but it's pretty much simple over here, right?
into the wind. Game's up. Fun's over.
Now the thing about it is similar to the Jade Plume chicken, right? It's just that it's a fat boss instead.
Get with me.
Yeah. Alright, then this part is just normal stuff, right?
Let me weave you a verse.
And I made the same mistake again. I do not know why I keep making that mistake. Right, and the rest are... Yeah, the rest is quite simple. I'll just keep quiet from here and let y'all see how it goes from here.
Our bond is strong. Out of my way. Let's leave her to it. Rain cutter. Huh? Hup. No, my sword. Grow. The temple of wisdom. Everyone hold hands.
Okay, I should have used the Cookie's Elemental Steel like quicker over here.
Witness the power of Guhua. No, my sword.
Okay, to be honest, I was very blind over here. I couldn't see anything. Yeah. The Dendro is like... The Dendro application was going crazy over there. I couldn't see anything.
To the chase.
Alright, and that's all for 12.3. Alright, that's all for this video, and I hope y'all enjoy this format. I do not know whether it's good. Don't let me know in the comment section below on what you feel on this type of Abyss guide. Yeah, just let me know, and have a nice day, everyone. Stay safe, right? Right, goodbye.